Hi.
Hello, Internet. How's everybody doing today? Happy Friday the 13th. Maybe I should say Killer Friday.
And it's a full moon tonight, too.
Dude, it's going to be super scary. I haven't seen the cats yet today, though, so...
I saw two. Oh, God.
Oh.
Wait, neither of them were black, so we're fine.
Ah, cool. Good to know, good to know.
Welcome to the stream. I just realized I have the stream up on my computer, and it's really bothering me, so I'm going to tab out of something else. Okay, so, hi, everybody. What is the episode we're doing today?
Today we are doing the anatomy of sponsorships.
Yes, we are. I really like how technical that name is.
I know. It took me a while to memorize that, actually.
Basically what that means is we're going to be talking about sponsorships from beginning to end. What we do, what you should do if you're working on a sponsorship for your own channel or your brand. And kind of just how things work. I mean, this is what we do.
Yeah, this is our main part of our job here. And as Audrey said, beginning to end, we're going to cover the evaluation of the initial offer, the total campaign and what you need to execute, as well as the wrap up once you are completed with everything.
And stay around for the wrap up because I think that part is one of the most important parts.
Rumor has it Audrey's going to wrap the whole thing.
I'm really bad at wrapping presents. Oh, God.
Oh, no.
We're actually just going to have a box here. The box is called sponsorships. We're going to wrap. No, I'm not doing this. Okay. Yesterday, I talked about like a sponsorship sandwich, too. And like this morning.
It totally made sense.
This morning, Adrienne was like, hey, should I make that graphic? And I was like, I actually have no idea what I would talk about if we had that graphic on. Like, I don't know what the sponsorship sandwich is anymore. So
yeah.
I'm not
It's definitely a sponsorship wrap, not a sponsorship sandwich.
Oh, I mean, everything's a sandwich, so.
Oh, were we about to do
That's
this?
why we brought this up! I forgot! We brought it up because everything's a sandwich. If you have any questions about everything being a sandwich, go ahead and ask them in chat. If you have any questions about literally anything at all, especially to do with the business of streaming or OPG, anything like that, ask them in chat, ask them on Twitter and you can use the hashtag oh my God. You can use the hashtag AskOPG. You can also tweet at OP_group. Any of those things work, and we will get to your questions as they come up.
We will also be holding a little Q&A at the very end of this episode, so if you've got anything burning, throw it in early, or just save it, and we'll get around to it.
If you have anything burning, I recommend seeing a doctor.
Or a fire extinguisher.
That's a good point, yeah. I didn't think about that.
It's Friday, guys.
Starting off good.
Let's do this. All right, going into it, the evaluation of a sponsorship. So you're coming up in the world, you've amassed a lot of followers, you've got your own little fame, you got your little community going there. Somebody reaches out to you and says, hey, I want to pay you some money to show off my product, my game, whatever. What are some of the first things we should do here?
Well, I mean, that's pretty exciting, right?
Yeah, I'd be so excited. That's the first thing. You open your email and it's like sponsorship opportunity. I'm like, whoa.
Yeah.
What is this? It's like Christmas Day in the middle of September.
I think what a good thing to keep in mind, though, is like while it's very exciting, you really need to come into it with your checklist of questions, right? Like,
oh, absolutely.
And see if they're answered in that initial email. If they're not, ask for more information. That's a big part of this evaluation process. But there's definitely like a few things that we go over first, that we have our own checklist to make sure that it's an appropriate opportunity for clients as they come in and what you should be doing as well.
Yeah, as exciting as it is to get that offer, it's really important not to just rush into it, go in guns blazing. You want to make sure that everything falls into a place that would feel comfortable for you and your audience.
Before I forget, let's say hi to everybody in chat.
We should do that, yeah.
I was like, I realized that the chat is going. And
it's going pretty fast. It's going faster than I can read right now.
Hello, F4 Flargan. Wow, that is not F4 Felgen. Quest level awesome. Omid, obviously.
What's up, Dracontius?
Z Corona, obviously. Jared FPS.
Whoa,
hello.
Jared's in here. Hey,
Oh
man.
my God, what platform are we on? No, I'm just kidding. I'll explain what Flargan is later, F4. Don't worry. I'll get into that.
What is up, Sirius? Yo, always good to see you.
Yes, there is. Yo, you coming in here with the Dan emotes. Oh my gosh.
And Jeremiah Hitchin.
Jeremiah Hitchin is here too with the Pikachu. Hello. It is Friday, guys. I'm very happy.
I'm super excited.
Yes.
It's going to be a spooky evening. I got good plans.
Oh man,
Yeah.
I bet you have better plans than I do.
It involves sleeping.
Oh,
a
mine.
lot of it.
Mine involves not sleeping at all
Oh yeah.
and only playing
that
Borderlands
crazy
3.
game came out, right? That like I think I've only seen like 2 people playing it so
No,
far.
no, it's not really that popular. You know.
What is it like?
Um,
Broader Store 3?
Borderlands 3.
Isn't that the bookstore? No, that's Barnes and Noble.
That's Barnes and Noble's 3.
Yeah.
Hello, Carnassus. I'm gonna go ahead and say that's what your name is. Does OPG have any streamers that do automotive-related content? Not currently.
Well, we do have a couple that are very big into the sim world.
Yes,
So
and they drive cars in simulators.
yes, we also have I've seen him play Car Mechanic Simulator a few times.
My summer car.
My summer car is always a real fun one. Squirrel is the first one that comes to my
Yes,
mind. But if you're looking
always.
for more of people actually going and working on their car doing IRL streams, currently don't have anybody doing that.
We have enthusiasts.
Maybe
that
I should
nobody-
do it.
Maybe you should do it. Hey. I know they exist, and I've seen them around on Twitch, and it's actually really interesting to watch.
Yeah,
them.
the Hoonigan channel, which is Ken Block's brand, has a great show where they're always wrenching on stuff, building just crazy cars all the time. It's real entertaining to
It's
watch.
really cool. I knew you would know one on the top of your head, like of course. There's the COD beta going on too. I know a lot of people are going to be doing that this weekend as well.
Oh yeah, it's a huge weekend for gaming. It's stoked. So many good games just came out in the last 3 weeks. Rip my wallet, rip Audrey's
Seriously.
wallet. It's been a good one. But I've got so much to play for the next while. I'm super excited.
It's almost too many games. Almost too many games, if that's a thing that can exist.
Yeah, I actually have the dilemma right now where I don't know what to play because
Yeah.
I have so many. There's like
Yeah.
3 and it's just kind of like flipping a coin, but
Well, and I got into this weird funk where I was, well, not really a funk, it's the opposite of a funk, I guess. I was getting back into games that I hadn't played in a while.
Oh,
And,
me
like,
too.
Like, I got back into Minecraft. Holly BB being in chat reminded me I got really engrossed back into Sims, which is crazy. And I've been watching, like, a YouTube series. I want to do my own 100 baby challenge. Like, I'm going insane right now. And there's too many games. I can't do it.
Oh, yeah.
It's too many. Anyway.
sweet. Also just want to jump in here for Carnassus. It is Hoonigan. 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 Don't make me spell that again. To
Spelling on stream is just like doing math on stream.
Oh, yeah, don't
You
do
just
either of
it. Cool. Well, now that we've done all the introductions, I think let's
yeah.
go back
Wait, did
into
we introduce ourselves? It doesn't matter. That's Audrey. I'm Tyler.
There you go.
Let's
Boom,
actually do this
boom,
thing.
Boom. All right. So we're talking about, like, there's definitely a few things that we like to evaluate first when an email first comes in. And it's kind of a checklist of things, but I think we want to go over each part kind of separately.
Yeah, and it's very important to note that we do this for every single opportunity that comes in for any of our clients. None of them we look at and it's just automatic go. We have to really evaluate these channels, evaluate the brand, see if it's going to be a good fit, and make sure everything is going to actually be legit for this person.
Yeah, for sure. Even if it's coming in from a company or an agency that we usually have worked with before and we trust, we always want to evaluate it because, you know, if it's not a completely good fit, then you shouldn't do it in the first place, right?
Oh, no, definitely not.
Yeah. If you're not feeling it, you shouldn't do the thing.
So one of my first things I always like doing it at first is this a legit company?
Yes.
Is this a legit agency that's reaching out to this brand? So sometimes you might see an activation come in from, say, Nintendo, EA, one of these big ones, but it doesn't have a Nintendo or an EA address.
That's weird.
Red flag numero uno,
At
guys.
Gmail or
Yeah,
Yahoo.
Gmail? What?
Hotmail, I don't know. Like, people still use that.
SBC Global?
Oh my God, that
I haven't seen that one in a while.
That is a flashback. That is actually a huge important thing because, believe it or not, there are scams everywhere, right? So you want to be sure that whoever's reaching out to you is a legitimate person from a legitimate company. And they could have an email that is not necessarily from internal use, which would be weird to do that, but like look into them, look up whatever name they gave you, see if they're actually there, maybe find a LinkedIn that seems legitimate. You know, there's a lot of different kind of testers you can do to research them.
Yeah, I always enjoy going on LinkedIn, checking out the
Yes.
company, looking up the staff, making sure that person's actually employed by there. Maybe going onto a company profile, their website, checking out their team listings and seeing everything.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
for like our company, we have all of us with pictures of all of us on the front page with links to everything. So if you wanted to stalk any of us, it's pretty easy to do.
Yeah, and you would never hear from one of us from our personal email addresses talking about things for OPG or any of our clients, right? So it would always be from like our first name at opg.tv. So Audrey at opg.tv, Tyler at opg.tv. And it's the same at almost every other company out there, major or not. It's pretty much the same across the board.
And so some of the complications that could come if it isn't actually a legit offer and it's a scam, well, one, you would just be working for free and you might not even wind up getting paid for everything that you did. And this would be a huge bummer, especially if you're working on a longer campaign. Say you're doing a 10-hour sponsored stream, a week of endorsement, you're throwing out social posts like they're candy, doing giveaways, and then you have no money in exchange for it. That would be pretty bad.
Yeah, that would be bad. And we'll get into like the execution a little bit, but it kind of comes into contracts too. You want to make sure you have a contract set up with whoever you're going to work with that actually outlines the payment details.
Oh yeah.
Which we can get into some like, technical terms there, but like net 30 or net 60.
Oh, we're going there.
Invoicing and things like that.
I know some of these words.
Some of these words are familiar. Carousel. It's not exactly carousel, but I'm going to say your name is carousel right now. Wanted to ask for personal experience. Most of the time, sponsors send creator messages and inquire their fees or if they want to promote their product. And afterwards, they negotiate the price and a sponsorship is made. Is there a term for this? Negotiation.
Just general process of
Yeah,
the deal.
the general process of the deal, general process of negotiation is really kind of what that comes down to. Providing your own fee that you have researched and made for yourself, and negotiating that to actually get to an end product. That is all part of negotiation right there, yeah. I was contacted by a company using a Gmail address. It ended up being legit, but I didn't work with them because I thought it was too unprofessional to not use a company email. And I think that's really important for companies to realize, right? Like, if you don't have, it is stupid simple to make like an at whatever the heck you want. Like, you can do it on Gmail. I don't even know if it costs anything. Like, it's so simple. And you can get like your own domain name and make an email for that. Like, there's no reason professional companies should be using Gmails, but they do sometimes. It happens, and they are legit opportunities, but it's not exactly the most professional.
Yeah, I actually came across one of these very recently, and it turned out to be a legit campaign that we actually went through and completed. But when it first came in, I was very, very sketched out about it, and I actually brought it up and discussed with quite a few of the team members here. I wound up going through that evaluation process, checking out the company's website, looking at their LinkedIn, kind of stalking the person a little bit to make sure it was actually legit. Everything went smooth, but as you're saying, it can be a little scary when they come in from that Gmail.
Oh my gosh, I got something in my eye. Ignore me. Oh my god, I don't know what's happening. But that's all part of the evaluation process, is actually making sure people are legit. And that should be your first step, because after you do that step, you're going to know if they're a legitimate person or a legitimate company or not. You'll likely, in that process, also find out if it's a product or a game that you even care to endorse. And you'll know immediately if you just want to shut that down.
You know, Audrey, how do you feel about people that reach out to broadcasters and they don't even tell them what their deal is? They say just a number. It's like, hey, sponsorship opportunity for $5,000. Are you interested?
I mean,
no background at all, nothing.
We literally just saw this. If you guys look at Twitter, one of our former clients, Simpson Bear, just tweeted about this like today. And I think a lot of people probably got this email too, where it was like the title just said, hey, this thing is $5,000. And then the body of the email just said, are you interested? Details above. There were no details. There was no details in what the product was, what people would be looking into. And you can't, as a company, you should not be reaching out to people that you want to work with, that you want to pay potentially, and making them do the legwork to find out about who you are. Like, you're like, as a streamer, you're going to be doing that anyway. You should be. That should be part of your process. But in an initial email, if they don't say anything about what a thing is, like, why should you bother moving forward from there? Because that's not exactly the most professional thing, right? And we've seen it before where people are just like, yeah, we just want some rates for what like this would be for like 2 hours in a tweet. That's it. And it's like, well, what are they doing it for? Because it matters, right? If you're doing it for a game that you are really interested in, normal rates are great. They will apply in that situation. If you're doing it for maybe a game that you're not as interested in, but you want to check out, you're just going to have to make the time on your channel to do it, and it's going to have to be for at this time on this day, and it's maybe outside of your range of usual streaming times, or maybe a little difficult for you to fit in, your normal streaming rates probably won't apply there. Like, you may want to increase or decrease based on how much of an inconvenience that's going to be for you, or how it may affect your audience size. Like, there's a lot of different factors that go into that.
Yeah, it's super important to make sure that the pay is very in line with what your channel is and what you've constantly been asking. If anybody offers something low and you take it, you do risk the chance of in the future them coming back and offering you those low rates because they realize they can get you for that price. And you don't ever want to undersell yourself. You want to keep growing and increasing that revenue.
This is such, like, it's a little bit of a tangent off the side, but it's such a big deal to not undercut yourself to a company if you know, like, hey, okay, it is the month of January, which is historically a very slow month for sponsored deals. Remember that. January is really slow for sponsored deals. Like, sometimes they just will stop completely and you will hear nothing from anybody. It's because a lot of companies are still making their budgets for the rest of the year. They don't know what they're going to do yet. Right after the holidays, a lot of people are still taking time off. So sometimes sponsorship opportunities will come up in January or they'll come up in February, and people will just be like, I will do anything. I'll take a 50% discount because I need the sponsorship. That's a slow time of the year. You're just thinking of the time right now, like, I just need this now. But then later on, that same company could easily come back and just be like, well, you did it for $100 before, so you'll do it for $100 again, right? And it's like, no, because I'm back in the swing of things. Things are going good. I have sponsorships going. My audience is back. It's summertime, which is crazy for things. Everything's popping, which we know because it is summertime. And then they're only going to offer you $100, and you're like, well, I'm worth like $500, so no, you know. But to them, they're just like, well, that's what you did before.
Yeah.
So
looking over at chat too, Holly brings up a great point. Streamers are incredibly busy. You guys are streaming for 8 hours a day, 10 hours a day, 12 hours, sometimes 24. I don't know why.
Yeah.
But you're really busy and you want to see most of it up front so that you can make a decision on if you actually want to do this or not. 90% of the emails I send out after the initial one are, hey, do you have a time frame on this? Do you have any sort of obligations that you would like to see? Social posts, stream length, how many streams? Do you want Instagram, YouTube video? All right, we can do that.
I would probably venture to say like 75% of the emails I send daily are like, they say details in them, right? I'm like, hey, can I get more details on this before I ask any clients about this? Because that's what we like to do at OPG. We like to get as many details as possible before bringing it to a client so that we're not wasting their time. We're just, you know, I don't want to say we're wasting our own time, but, you know, we're waiting for these details to come in. You don't have to do that. We want to do that for you. And so we're just like, okay.
Yeah, so
give me the details.
Let's do
I
a
need anything here.
little role play here. Audrey Rars, big upcoming streamer. I'm her manager. Hey, Audrey, Call of Duty reached out. Do you want to play their game for a sponsorship?
Well, I don't know. It depends. Like, when would it be?
I don't know.
Oh. I mean, I guess, maybe.
I also don't know how much they're going to pay you. It might be free.
Oh. No.
Oh, okay. I'll let them know.
And you know what? I might go back and play Call of Duty anyway, but that sponsorship has lost the opportunity for me to actually guarantee time to play it, do talking points, everything like that, because 10 out of 10 acting. I know, I'm fantastic.
I think we both were in theater at one point.
Yeah.
I didn't do very well.
I did a lot of theater, actually. I've done literally years of it. Okay. Anyway, so, but, you know, it's like that opportunity might be lost because we have nothing to bring to a client. And then, you know, we may come back later, and we do this a lot where we double check interest like 50 billion times.
Oh, yeah.
Like, and I think it might drive some people insane, but it's really good to do because you never know when it's going to turn around and be like, oh my God, wait, no, I'm really going to be busy at that time, or I won't be able to fit this game in anymore. Like, this other thing came out and I have to do this, like, whatnot. So we always double check that kind of stuff. But having those details up front from a sponsor, I mean, you need them, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
You know,
and
it's
definitely really any part of it, especially dates, like you were saying, if it conflicts with any other game launches, maybe you're going on vacation, practicing that work-life balance, and they want you to stream in the middle of your vacation. And sorry, man, it's not gonna happen.
Here, I'm gonna go up to your previous message carousel. Oh, I think the problem I have encountered are those confidential emails because they won't say anything about the campaign or what it is, what it's about, unless they talk directly to the creator. Those happen sometimes. Sometimes people won't say anything until you've signed an NDA with them, which we see a lot. Oh my God. Okay. Like, there's a lot of videos on my screen. It was very distracting. But you can still get pertinent details that can help you make a decision before you get to the point of, like, signing an NDA or saying you're going to agree to something before you're ready to. And I definitely recommend if a sponsor reaches out and they're like, hey, we would really like for you to do this thing. It's going to be paid, but I can't tell you how much yet. And I can't tell you what the game is. And that's really suspicious, right? And it's like, okay, well, I need to know what the game is because I don't know if I'm going to say yes or no to this. And then they're like, well, we can't tell you, but we just need to know if you're interested. Well, you can't tell them if you're interested. How am I going to know
I'm interested if I don't even know what it is?
Because it's going to end up being like Hello Kitty Happy Island or something you
Mobile
don't want to
game
play. Yeah. And that does happen. So a lot of times, I hate to say it, sometimes companies just need to hear no. And so, because sometimes it's like, you know, I know it's confidential. I know you can't give me any information. Maybe let's sign an NDA. You can always suggest that to people. You could have a mutual NDA on file that you have that's like, you can pull off a lot of templates on the internet and kind of edit to what you need.
Super easy.
You could do something like that, or you could just be like, well, I might be interested in it if it's anything like the other games that I play on my channel. It would have to be something similar to that. And maybe here's my timeline of when I could do things. Like, give them the information. It's a little annoying because you have to do that, which you shouldn't necessarily have to do. But then maybe that helps them because they're like, oh, well, no, they don't usually play games like Hello Kitty Happy Island. I'm making this up. That's not a game.
That's my favorite game.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, I would definitely play that.
So maybe they're not the best fit for it. Or they're like, well, actually, yeah, it's just like the games you play, so this makes sense. When I am able to tell you more details, I'll come back to you. Right? It's tough when you cannot get the details from the sponsor, but you do what you can in that situation, which sometimes is like, you can't do anything. Sometimes you're just like, well, I have no details from you, and you're not going to give me any, and I don't have anything to provide, so I guess we're not doing this kind of thing. So.
Also, Audrey kind of dipped her toes in the water a little bit about another super important evaluation, and that's making sure that whatever this company is fits your channel, and it fits your brand, and it fits how you want to portray yourself.
Yes.
So if you constantly play first-person shooters, and that's your whole market, maybe Classic WoW isn't going to do so great on your channel. Yeah. So these sponsors see you pulling in a lot of big numbers, 10,000 concurrents, and they're like, wow, this would be awesome. Let's throw it in front of them. They start playing the game, you've got to negotiate everything, and then it just tanks because your followers don't really enjoy watching that style of gameplay.
And this really ties into something that we've brought up a lot on this show, but it's always pertinent. It always matters.
Super important.
That being a single game streamer, while you may see pretty decent viewer numbers because people want to watch you play that certain game, like Fortnite is a really good example. A lot of people got really on the Fortnite bandwagon and just stuck with that game for a very long time because they're very good at it. So people like to watch them be good at it. But then if they switch to another game, like, everything tanks down, right? Because it's like, well, the people that are there to watch them play Fortnite. Or something where they can learn how to play that game really well. But then if you go play, WoW Classic is a great example. And then everybody's like, well, I don't really care about WoW Classic, so I'm not gonna watch this. Being a variety streamer is all about your personality and people being there for you, not necessarily the game you're playing. And that's most of our clients.
Yeah, and with that, your audience tends to really know you, and even though you may be a variety playing everything, they'll kind of realize the types of niches that you follow and what you like to stick to and what type of games you like to play. So if you switch it up and just do something totally off your mark, a lot of people are going to call it out and be like, oh, sponsored? Like, when are you going back to normal? Or,
Yeah,
I'll be
like,
back in a couple hours, guys.
How
See
much
ya."
did they pay you to sell out? Ugh. Anyway, like, we've seen it before, right? And sometimes you're always going to have people around that do that kind of thing because they're stuck in this old way of thinking that it's like, I don't know, that you don't need money to survive and live. I don't know. But
That would be cool. I got to get on
love
that.
Can we live on that planet? That sounds amazing. But most people, especially if you do more variety stuff, are going to be super down because they're like, you play games that I like to watch, you play games that I like to play. So I think, whatever you're going to play, I'm probably going to like it too. And those are really where like the successful people lay is in that field of things. So if you're just starting off your channel, try to cater to variety. It's really tough, especially when you're starting, because like you can find a home game, but if you spend like 90% of your time there, that's not going to be as much variety as you're going to want in the end game. And then switching, if you're only playing one game and then switching to variety, is like insanely difficult.
Oh, yeah.
Especially because you see the numbers, right? You see your numbers and you're like, well, nobody's here, and that feels really bad. So it's hard, and it's you have to be patient. It's process. Streaming is one of the harder careers that I think people decide to take up. Like, obviously, it's not the same like, oh, physically hard. Like, what about underwater oil miners? I don't know, whatever. But like, it's a hard thing to do. It's hard to be on camera. We just do it for like 2 hours.
And I'm exhausted by the end of it.
It's so exhausting.
Insane.
It's so exhausting. I don't even do it with camera when I do it at home, and I'm tired. And if I was with camera, I'd be like, it would be bad.
And so going off of what Audrey was saying too, it's not only games that are important to match with your channel and your brand, it can be products as well. Say for example, you're a fitness enthusiast, half of your streams are gains and doing awesome stuff and getting absolutely yoked. And let's say McDonald's reaches out to me and wants to sponsor me. And they want me to eat 10 Big Macs. Like, that sounds awesome. I would love to do that. But then my audience is gonna be like, wait, weren't you this eating clean, healthy, all this? Like, what's happening here?
Yeah. That's something definitely to keep in mind. We've had deals come up before for our clients that were like, well, it's for this snack product, and it's a very popular snack product. I'm not going to get into the details, okay? But it's a very popular snack product, and we want to reach out to this person. And I'm like, okay, well, that's great. They are very interested in your product. They're interested in this line of product in particular because it's more health focused, and they've very publicly been trying to lose weight, be on a diet, be healthy, go to the gym. And they're like, well, that's a different department. This is only for this stuff. And it's like, oh, okay, well, then that's not going to work. And sponsors don't necessarily like to hear that kind of thing, but it helps them better understand the space, right? Every time that you tell a sponsor something, give them advice about something, it helps them better understand the entire space better.
It's still a super new industry, and especially as it keeps growing, a lot of these larger companies that are more traditional with their advertising are realizing this and they're jumping in, but they don't quite understand how Twitch works.
Yeah.
And so it's really important to kind of help them along, help them understand what makes a very good campaign and what will feel natural to the influencer themselves and the broadcaster, so it makes everything nice and smooth.
Streaming is a very different kind of marketing than I think a lot of companies are used to, and so they're getting used to it, just like Tyler said. But making sure that you're bringing on sponsors that fit with your own brand, very important. If you don't drink coffee, you probably shouldn't have a coffee sponsor. If you don't have a bank account and you have no interest in having a bank account, you probably shouldn't have a bank sponsor. I don't know, that's not related to anything. It's just like, it's true. Like, if you don't do this thing, you probably shouldn't do the thing. I don't know. That's the way I think about it. And maybe it's something that you've never experienced before, but you got the chance to try it because the sponsor wanted to work with you and you like the product. Great, you're allowed to like new things. So then you can, hey, I just discovered this amazing drink and I had never drank iced tea before, but now I love it because
and
of this.
I'm hooked.
Yeah,
and I can't stop drinking it, and I'm super caffeinated, and I love life. I could sell some tea.
I am very tired, so this is like a whole next level for me. Geico Gaming, that's a thing, and I've seen that actually around a lot. And I think they even like are trying to start like a team or something, aren't they? I feel like I heard something about that. That's why I turned on the Wells Fargo esports team. I don't use Wells Fargo, yeah.
Yeah, the U.S. bank guy. Can't go there. I signed an NDA. I can't tell you that.
It's all about credit unions, man, okay? Whatever. But, okay, so another part of the evaluation of this whole thing, hi, Edric. All of this evaluation stuff, another part is we kind of talked about a lot of this, but what is the pay? Is the pay appropriate? Are they paying? If they don't say that in the first email, you got to know, right? So that goes into your getting more details email back to them. If they didn't tell you a bunch of things, it's like, okay, well, what time is it going to be? What is it for? What are you looking for deliverables wise, which is very important? And how much is it going to pay? What is your budget? Sometimes sponsors don't have that in mind. They don't know what they're going to pay you. They want to know your rates. So going into this, knowing what your rates are is an important thing. We've done episodes on it in the past. I think might be some on YouTube as well.
Yeah, there's a great clip. I think Omeet or OP Group posted it recently about how to calculate a rate that's good for your channel and appropriate. It involves math. We don't do that on stream.
I don't do math on stream. I avoid it at all costs. But there are ways to find your rate. And we have resources that we have talked about before, and then you can Google some stuff and find some things out. You can find out your own rate based on.
It's really not too hard.
Stuff,
I make it sound more difficult than it is, but it's not bad.
Well, I don't know.
Also, another thing to watch out for is a lot of times you get it. Oh, this is a paid opportunity, and it's not just a flat rate sponsorship. A lot of companies come back and they want to do an affiliate program. And what an affiliate program is you in return promote this brand, promote their company, promote their product, whatever it is, and you'll get a discount code. So mine would be Tyler15, Audrey20. She gets more of a discount than I do because she's more established. And whenever somebody uses that code on their website, they usually get a little bit of a discount, and then I get a commission of that sale, which is just a percentage. Now, after time, this eventually adds up. You'll get a small payday. It's generally not great. We're talking very, very little. But in return, the company profits a ton, and they really gain. So it's not the best type of sponsorship to consider unless it's something that you really, really believe in and something that you really like and you just want to work with that company.
For our clients, they've gotten to a certain point in their careers that we would not recommend them taking affiliate deals, but some do because they're loyalty to a brand. They really like this brand. Maybe it doesn't require a lot of work. If you are thinking about taking an affiliate sponsorship for any reason, you really want to consider how much they're asking you to do. If they're literally just like, I don't know, put up this panel image and tell people about your coupon code, that's it, that's great. That's pretty easy, right?
That's easy.
It's a product you already like using, like, okay, sure.
It's just down there chilling, you forget about it.
Like, if you're gonna drink, I don't know, G Fuel every day on stream, like that is your tradition, you always drink G Fuel on stream, I mean,
yeah, why not make a little money?
You know, like, hey, what are you drinking? Oh, G Fuel. There's a code down below if you want to.
There are a few good ones too, like the Humble Bundle program, the Epic Game Store Support a Creator. So there are definitely very passive sources of income to do that, but it's not for every single type of activation.
And sometimes they will ask you to do a lot more than just have an image up or tell people about a code, right? Sometimes they will be like, well, we want you to do like 5 tweets a month, do a sponsored stream. It's like, these are things that you should be getting paid to do. Not getting a percentage of sales, of maybe sales to do. And also, when you take an affiliate deal, if you are like, I'm going to get this money from this deal, you want to be sure that it's tracked in a way that you can check on. Because we've seen things happen before. This hasn't happened in a while that I've seen, but we've seen things in the past where they were like, no, use this link and it'll track all the sales that come in through this link. But what if, you know, maybe it's not tracking all the sales that come in through that link. Maybe it's tracking 5% of the sales that come in through that link for whatever
I could
reason.
click that link, view the store, add everything to cart, totally forget about it, come back just by typing in whatever it is, and then
you go back in your cart and you buy the things. And that wouldn't count for you. There are affiliate deals that use, like, I think cookies. I think they use cookies to actually know, like, this IP address clicked on your link before, we are associating the sale with you. Those are good stuff. That's great because that is, you're always going to have the sales associated with you. And there's things like I think it's Amazon Blacksmith. I think that's what that's called, where if somebody that you're working with has product on Amazon as well as their own website, and people go through Amazon Blacksmith, your Amazon Blacksmith account, I am not exactly sure how it works, but I think this is how it works, and you buy this product on Amazon instead of their website, you'll get the credit through Amazon as well because you still work with that company. Like, you're connected there. So they still bought the product. They're still getting the income from that product that just was bought on Amazon instead of through their website. So,
You know, I'm kind of curious. Are there any companies that you would consider an affiliate program from?
like
Personally?
like I would take.
Yeah.
Sure. I mean, I think there are some like easy ones, right? Like super easy. Like you were talking about Humble Bundle. Like
Yeah.
that's dumb easy. And then there's things like Epic Game Store. Like if I'm gonna, I mean, I am playing Borderlands, but if I'm gonna like be a streamer, I'm streaming Borderlands, and I can get a creator code. They do not give them to everybody, but if I can be accepted for a creator code, why wouldn't I tell people about that?
Oh, yeah.
You know, it's like,
easy.
hey, if you're gonna buy Borderlands, or if you're playing Fortnite and you want to buy some V-Bucks, just type my name in right here. I actually just did that for the first time. I used somebody's creator code in EGS, and
Did it
was
feel good?
It was so easy.
Yeah.
It was incredibly easy. I could not believe how simple that was. And that's not something you have to do a bunch of work to do. It's pretty simple. So yeah, I mean, as long as it's something that's real easy for you to do that doesn't actually require a ton of your personal time, then kind of why not do it, you know?
I think I would love one for Red Bull.
Yeah.
Just a constant energy drink all the time. It'd be
I drink
fairly
Red Bull.
easy. Yeah. And like Red Bull's always a really hard one to crack and kind of break into
Mm-hmm.
because they're the best of the best, even though they have one of the largest marketing expenditures of any company in the world.
I imagine.
But if I could just be like, hey, type in Tyler Red Bull,
Yeah.
get a little discount. I'm drinking it all the time. You
Yeah.
could be just like me.
Yeah.
Be a good time.
I want to be just like Tyler. Seems like affiliate deals are catch-22. If you're small enough to consider it, you probably won't be able to profit from it. And if you could profit, you're probably too big to need it. Exactly.
Yeah.
That's most of them are exactly like that, where it's like, well, I mean, I don't really need to do the extra thing to have this. I kind of already have a lot of panel images down because I have other monthly sponsors. So like, and then, you know, there's literally affiliate programs out there where you literally just sign up for it. You don't do anything else. They don't even send you product. And that's not something you want to do.
Yeah.
If you can't get the product for free, you probably don't want to be doing it either. So, Gooms asks a very large question. What do you all think about the necessity of having something like a static place for your content in addition to your live stream, such as YouTube, for purposes of pursuing and obtaining paid sponsored opportunities? Going back to what you all were saying about the live broadcasting being newer and a lot of those advertisers not fully understanding how that environment works, thinking of from a perspective of a streamer around 100 and 200 streamer viewership average.
So I personally really like the idea of having a dedicated YouTube, especially because Twitch VODs only last 60 days. Some people have it set shorter than that, and they can just disappear. So a lot of sponsors, they want to have that add up for infinite amount of time. And YouTube's great. You can take your stream segments, kind of chop it up, make it all real exciting and short, and it's always there. It's easy for them to check in on. They can embed it other places, and also dedicated videos as well. So just being across multiple different platforms and kind of broadening your horizons allows different types of sponsorship activations coming for you, which I was actually going to kind of get into a little bit. But making sure you've got YouTube covered. Twitter is a huge one. Always make sure you have that.
Instagram.
The gram is growing, man.
Instagram, please do Instagram. Don't worry about the long question. We love questions here. Ask all the questions you want. It's perfect. You give us content, please. Please, you're good. No, actually, it's funny because I have the similar opinion, but it's slightly different. And I'm not sure everybody has this opinion. So my thought I think you should definitely extend your content out to other places that are a little more static, maybe a little more stable. So Twitter, Instagram, I think are so important, and you need them, especially Twitter. If you're not going to do Instagram, okay, it's growing. It's a really good place to be. You should be there. You should be making daily content there if you can. It's hard, but you can do it. YouTube, I have a little bit different thoughts on. So on Twitch, the VODs do disappear. Same thing happens on every other platform. VODs disappear. They can't possibly have the server space to keep those around forever. But you can make highlights in Twitch at least. I'm not sure if you can do that on Mixer. You might be able to. You can make highlights of your VODs, or cut it down and make it a highlight. So it's basically like uploading YouTube video, and that'll stay around forever. If you're on YouTube and it's only highlights from your streams, or just uploads of your VODs, what are you really doing other than wasting time? Now, I know that sounds really mean, but like, you're taking the time to download your VOD from Twitch or wherever, upload it to YouTube, maybe edit it down and then upload it, which takes time, it takes bandwidth, it takes a little bit of everything. You're taking time away from your stream to do that, right? If you're making custom content for YouTube, that's pretty good. That's another place for people to check out your content that they would not be able to normally see in one spot. Being like, hey, I'm doing this Twitch live stream right now, but I did play a little bit offline earlier to do this, and that. If you want to check that out, I made a video. It's over on my YouTube. Go subscribe over there and check that out. That's pretty cool, right?
Yeah.
That's extra content. People do Patreon. That's an added thing. I think Patreon gets a bad flack a lot of the times, but Patreon's pretty good for that additional content as well, and another place that people can subscribe to you to get content that is maybe a little more deeper and more specialized for certain people, right? I follow this YouTube channel. I'm on YouTube a lot. I follow this YouTube channel that they make a lot of stuff at home. They do a lot of like home projects with like, what's that stuff you pour? Not acrylic.
Milk?
Not something you drink. It would kill you if you drank it. Epoxy. They do a lot of work with epoxy stuff, which is I want to do, but it's very expensive, and I'm never going to do it. But they're like, we go offline and we talk about every episode we upload to YouTube in like a little podcast afterwards, and that's on our Patreon. And I'm like, that's super cool. They do a little behind the scenes video that's extra content that it already exists, right? But they're just gonna stick it on Patreon instead, and it's behind a different paywall if you're really interested in that. So, I love those videos. I know, right? They're so I love it. That's my type of ASMR.
Also wanted to jump in. I saw Pims jump in. Oh, what's up, Pims? How you doing over there? Looks like Gooms has got a follow-up question. I apologize if I read your name wrong. English, not great. Uh-oh. So I lost the first line there, but it was...
Follow up to that. Do you think that doing something like that, if you were... Oh my God, yes. Do you think doing something like that, if you were a channel that size, is a necessity in the current market for content creators in order to compete with the high volume of other creators that are searching in the same opportunity? And you're talking about that 100 to 200 viewership, I think, right? I was reading that roughly 55,000 people are live streaming on Twitch, and it's peak every day, so it's concern of high saturation of the professional in the profession and how to differentiate yourself from companies in a sea of creators. There are a ton of people streaming right now. That
more than ever.
I don't even know. Maybe that number is higher now. 55,000. Maybe low. I'm not even sure. Especially like there are a lot of partnered streamers on Twitch now too. It's not just anybody streaming. It's partners as well. If you're in that 100 to 200 and that's where you've been staying for a while, 100% branch out into different platforms like Twitter, like Instagram. Maybe make some custom content for YouTube if it doesn't take too much of your time away from your stream. You gotta consider your time balance and also time to rest. Things like that too.
Sleep's really important.
You don't want to constantly be making content. You need to calm down sometimes. But yeah, it's like 20 to 25,000 partners on Twitch alone.
Is that number right?
Yeah, it's right around there.
Oh my good Lord.
That's crazy.
That is nuts.
It's insane. But I mean, I think I really feel if you're anywhere above 100, like you should be making content on more than one platform. Not like streaming to different platforms, but like an Instagram post a day. Some Instagram stories. I know I talk about Instagram a lot. It's important. It's bigger than you think it is. It's hot. Go on Instagram. But like making content for multiple platforms is an important thing. And it really gives you like a good place to sit if you're like, I'm not streaming today. I'm doing other things. But I wanted to have you guys involved in the other things I'm doing. Here are some pictures.
Yeah,
Here's
it's
live tweeting
super,
what I'm doing.
super easy to throw pictures up on Instagram on their stories feature. They are not permanent. They disappear after 24 hours. You just snap a picture like, hey, I'm out walking on the beach today. Here's my dog. Here's what I had for lunch. Like behind the scenes straight up, just all over. And people love seeing that stuff. It's easy viewing.
Yep.
It's great.
I love
Easy to
Instagram.
consume.
That's why I'm curious about your perspective, because I tell them all the time they need to focus on branching out. Having static locations for content is in addition to their live streams, etc., because of how impacted the industry is. There's a lot of people doing it. It's very saturated. I'm weary of saying oversaturation just because I think that's a very scary set of words. But it's saturated, that's for sure. Tend not to like the idea. They want to purely stay on Twitch. The more content you make outside of one platform, the more things you have to provide to a sponsor.
Oh, yeah.
Think of it that way.
Think of it as a resume builder, too.
Yes. Yep.
Like, I can do Twitch, but I can also throw stuff on the gram. I can tweet. I can make YouTube videos. I can Patreon.
Yeah.
I don't know if you Patreon. I
don't know if you Patreon,
what the
but
term
I'll
is
use
there.
At the Patreon. I have a photography background, and it's like that there too. They're a dime a dozen. It's hard for find work, and when they do, it's usually really bad pay. Exactly. Anything that is in the entertainment and artistic field, it's a lot of exposure bucks. Exposure bucks. I think we have an emote. I think we have an exposure bucks emote. Let me see. Where is it? Yeah, there it is. Exposure.
Whoa. Holy
Let's-
cow. I'm rich. I have so much exposure. What could I buy?
So much exposure. It's crazy.
Man, I hope the taco stand accepts that.
I hope my landlord accepts exposure
yeah.
bucks. I don't. She's 94. I really don't think she does. I don't think she knows what that means. So we might be screwed. That's all. We get paid in exposure bucks here, right? I don't, what?
But Goobs is totally right. The photographer, especially, I used to do a lot of photography on the side, especially when I was back in college. And man, the pay there is terrible unless you have an established portfolio. So relating that to streaming is spot on. It's a great, great comparison.
I feel like there was another thing, and I want to try to find it. I feel like someone.
Yeah, you guys are throwing out great questions today, by the way. Thank you so much. Helps us kind of keep going, keeps the
Really
topics
does.
on track.
Really does.
If you've got more stuff, throw us at it, and we'll
Throw
keep
us
on
at-
cruising.
Throw me, yeet, right at it.
Yes.
Just go.
Wah!
Okay, I feel like we've talked about evaluating a potential lead a lot, right? Maybe we move on to the campaign.
We probably could do that. Also, huge shout out to Johnny Scar. He just subscribed tier 1, 56 months. Whoa!
Okay.
Thank you, man. That's
a
awesome.
long time. That's like,
And
that's many years.
I say this every time. The subscriptions are going towards a giveaway. We don't know when that giveaway is going to be or what it is yet, but it will happen at some point in the unexpected future.
Almost 5 years, Johnny Scar. My lord.
Yeah.
That means, wait, did Omid already hit his 5-year streamiversary? I don't know.
I'm not sure either.
Anyway, okay. Throw the questions, not the host. Please throw me. So anyway, okay. Campaigns. It's already 3 o'clock, man. We are falling behind.
Dude, yeah, let's do this. Campaigns.
Okay.
All right.
So you get that initial email. You follow up with asking whatever details you need. Maybe they already told you all the details. And you're good to go. Hey, you're like, this is great. You've sent them a rate. Maybe you've negotiated that. Now we're on to, like, we've negotiated the terms. You've signed a contract.
Oh, man, you got that ink down. Paper's coming.
Sign a contract.
This is cool. Yeah, definitely sign a contract.
do it
If you
without a
don't
contract.
sign a contract, you're not guaranteed anything, and you could get totally ripped off.
And review your contract. Read through every word. You're going to fall asleep like 10 times, I promise.
They're very long.
Doesn't matter. Read the whole thing anyway, because you might find something's very scary in it and you don't want to sign that. But read your contract, review it, make sure it's all kosher, sign it. Now you're good to actually do the campaign. Something that you have done in the evaluation process is you found out what the sponsor wants, right? As far as like obligations.
Oh, yeah.
But you've also found out what they want as far as results. Hopefully. If you haven't done that, do it. Okay? So you want to know, well, what is your end goal for this sponsor? Like, do you want to get people to buy your game? Do you want people to see your website? Or do you just want to get it higher up on Twitch and more views? Because we could do that. You know, like, so kind of figuring out, like, as long as those asks make sense for you and that everything that they want to do is something that you can accomplish, you're good to go. And this is the part where you do that thing. Yay!
This is my favorite part. I love watching everything from
too.
a campaign come together, people hitting their talking points,
really
executing
fun.
it. I get real excited.
It feels good just because you're checking those boxes, right? Checking boxes always feels nice. I don't know. I like that. So,
So a few things
Yeah.
to gather before you actually start your campaign. Papers are signed and everything. Some very common things that you'll see are sponsored panels beneath your stream. So it's usually just a little image, 300 by 300 pixels, nothing huge, but everybody sees that, and it's very important, and you want to make sure that it's linked, especially to something that leads to whatever the sponsor wants. So Audrey mentioned it could go to the game store, could go to Steam, it could go to their website, could go
Anywhere.
really anywhere.
Yep.
It's a whole new world. So you want to make sure that you gather those from the sponsor well ahead of time. You don't want to be waiting until the last possible second for these to come in. It's extremely stressful for everybody involved. Get those early, get them out of the way, get them set up. Step one done.
and good thing to note, if the sponsor is like, I don't know, we don't really have a tracking link for you. Or if they are waiting for the last second and they have not provided you a tracking link yet, you can make your own tracking link.
Yeah.
It's hella easy. You could do it for free. And then, even if they don't ask for that as part of the campaign, I recommend doing it anyway.
Yeah,
because
it's a
proof.
good thing to show the sponsor at the end of the campaign. You can show them the results. There's tons of websites out. You can make custom URLs that redirect to, so you can tag it with your name. We use opg.to. It's real cool.
I like it. It looks very special. But there's like Bitly, there's Rebrandly, there's another one I can't think of. But there's a bunch of these
Shortly.
like Smart URL is
Yeah.
one. Yeah, there's a lot of these like redirection things, and they have very simple tracking statistics on them.
Yeah, and there can be some pretty cool stuff in there. You can see the countries, the number of clicks.
Yeah, the
Time
number
of
of clicks,
day.
that's the main thing
That's
that
the
you
big
want.
one.
Yeah, Google has a link shortener. Google has everything. I love
Yeah.
Google.
All hail Overlord Google.
If you are starting your own business as a content creator, Google is going to be your best friend. Like, you got Gmail, you got Google Suites with Excel sheets and PowerPoints. You can make your little fact sheet to send to potential sponsors. Like, everything is there. We've talked about Google a billion times. I love Google. They are my overlords. I bow down to them.
I sold my soul. I don't regret it one bit.
That's why I have an Android. No iPhones here.
Not in this room.
I'm just looking at that. I'm like, I don't
It's
know.
not
if
it's not an
Okay,
iPhone.
good. It's not. Thank God. Whew. I really wasn't sure. I don't know what they look like anymore. Okay. But you know, putting together whatever you can for a sponsor that even if they don't ask for it, but you can do very easily is never a bad idea. It's something that you can just show up in the wrap up, which we'll get to, that just proves that you're a great partner to work with.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I changed my position now. I just feel sassy. So yeah, see, you just do it. You just
Yeah.
feel like, yeah,
I feel cool, even though it's really hot in this room.
very hot. And I know that this is like a very mesh shirt. It's hotter than you would think. It's kind of ridiculous. Anyway, and this really shows off like the dark and the light side here. We were talking about that before the stream went live. It's like I'm all in black as usual. Tyler's in white as usual. Really displays her personality.
Yeah. Sweet. So another big part of campaigns, a lot of times you're getting a sponsored stream, sponsored YouTube video. The sponsor wants to see certain talking points hit in that. That'll actually reflect on their brand. It can be their slogan. It can be certain things. Maybe they're releasing a new product. If you're doing a new gameplay release, they'll maybe want you to focus on certain fighting aspects, certain ways to explore.
Maybe the
just-
heroes. Yeah.
Yeah, certain inventory items. So it's very important to have those and read them over. However, sometimes the sponsors can throw out an incredible amount of talking points that can just be
5 pages long.
impossible to hit because there's so many, and it can actually make the video feel a little bit forced. So it's important to negotiate with those sponsors that, hey, what are the main ones, the absolutely necessary ones that I need to hit for this in order for you guys to be happy? I can't do all of these, it's just not gonna sit well with my audience. And then if you hit those and you're doing great and you're cruising, and then maybe you need just something to fill those last 20 minutes of your segment, you have those extra ones there
Exactly.
just in case.
And you know what is the most important stuff to hit. you can make yourself, we do this for our clients and people can do this for themselves very easily. You can make yourself a little cheat sheet that has like bullet point, look at this is our little cheat sheet.
We made a cheat sheet for ourselves.
It's just bullet points like talking point, talking point, talking point, very simple stuff. And you can kind of memorize things a little bit so that it's like, okay, I see these 5 words and I know exactly what I'm talking about here. I know all the details that I need to know because I already read my talking points in the larger sheet before. Something also to consider is if you get talking points from a sponsor and they say a lot of things like, this is the best game ever. You're going to love all the cool new features.
What if it's not the best game ever?
What if you don't agree with that? That's unethical. And that's against FTC regulation because you're being paid to say that you love a thing. That's not a thing that happens. No. So be very careful about that and make sure your sponsor that you're talking to knows ahead of time that the talking points they need to provide are factual talking points. This is a word we use a lot, especially in contracts, because a lot of contracts will specify that you need to go over talking points. Adding the word factual before talking points, it's pretty much, I've never seen it denied from a contract.
Never.
Like everybody's like, sure, but then they might send you talking points that aren't factual. So make sure that you're talking about factual talking points, things about the game or the product that are facts. And then if you while you're playing this game on stream and you freaking love it and you're having a great time, there's nothing wrong with saying, man, I love this game. It's great. Thank you so much, whoever, for sponsoring me to play this. It's been a really great experience. I love it. Like, that's your honest feeling, right? Just be sure a sponsor knows ahead of time that their talking points should be facts and that you will only go over the factual things because it's against ethics to go over anything else.
You also brought up one of my favorite things ever. Well, maybe not my favorite, but the FTC. So huge, one of the most important parts about being sponsored and executing a campaign, the disclosure. Got to make sure you throw those out there. You don't want to get in trouble. So common themes you'll see on Twitch all the time. You'll see sponsored by the gaming company, sponsored by Psyonix, sponsored by Art Games, sponsored by EA. On Twitter, a lot of times you'll see hashtag ad, hashtag sponsored, or sponsored by in the wording of the tweet. All of those are acceptable disclosures that help make sure that your audience knows that this was in fact a paid ad and that you are promoting this product for this reason.
But say that you're not being paid, but you got a game key for free from a company.
So a big one there is just shouting out to the company, thank you for the key or key provided by Bethesda. You still want to make sure you disclose that because you did, in fact, get something for free. It's not like you went out and bought the game yourself.
You got some sort of compensation.
Yeah.
Which
it may not be a ton. It's $50, $60, but that's still compensation in a way.
The way that I love to think about this that makes it super simple, I feel like it makes it really simple, is if you are reading something and it's not clear that that thing is paid for or not paid for, then it needs to be made clear, right? So I've seen people post things that are like, hey, I really like Fairlife milk. This is not an ad. I am not being paid. They did not give me anything for free. I just really like this milk. And that may seem like a lot, but you're not going to then have your FTC coming down the door asking, hey, did Fairlife pay you to say that, right? And it's also even more importantly, I know it sounds dumb because it's like the law, but like more importantly to me, your audience isn't going to be confused about that, so you're not lying. Like it doesn't feel like lying, right? If you got paid or you got something for free, clear and concise, just like Fearless said, that's all it needs to be. I got this for free. I was paid to do this thing. You don't have to say how much you were paid. That's your own personal information, right? But you have to say that you were paid to do it in some way, shape, or form. It's easy as that. You're being honest. You're being ethical. Everybody should want to be that.
And companies are starting to realizing this, and they're making it easier and easier. Like, did you see what Instagram did just very recently, over like the past 2 or 3 weeks with their new paid? Up at the top for accounts that are verified and have a certain amount, underneath their name you can put, I don't know, that Tyler Thomas, and then my location, San Diego, California. And then it'll be like, paid ad by Sticky Bump Surf Wax. And it makes it very simple. It's like, oh, this is an ad.
Facebook started that a while ago, and Instagram got it because, Facebook and Instagram are the same. So I really like it because Instagram was having major issues with the FTC.
It was crazy. I still see it all the time.
It's still so so bad.
I have friends from college that gained quite a bit of a following, and like I want to jump in there all the time and be just like, hey,
dude,
you might want to
please.
hashtag add that. Like I know we haven't talked in a
Come
while,
on, man.
but
I just want to help you out. Like, and I do the same thing. Like, even most of the times, people I don't know, but I follow for whatever reason, and I see like, okay, well, they're wearing a lot of this makeup and talking about this brand of makeup a lot. I do this business, so I can tell that's sponsored, but I don't see sponsored or ad or free product or anything like that anywhere. And it's rampant on Instagram still. Instagram got in a lot of trouble. A lot of big Instagram celebrities, including their Kardashians, got in trouble with the FTC. It's a huge deal. Yeah, cosmetic influencers
real
are
bad.
the worst.
I
at
follow
it.
a lot of makeup channels. It's really horrible.
Okay, no, there's nothing wrong with that. I am totally fine with that. I think I was surprised that you follow a lot of makeup channels. I do too, which may be surprising to people because I don't really wear makeup except like right now. But okay, yeah, no, it's cool. I'm not here to judge, man. I'm just curious.
Yeah.
We can talk about it later.
Hey
It's fine.
man, look good, feel good.
You know, it's true. You're right. I like Sirius Yo said this thing like, oh god, it just went up. Talking about number one. This is the best game I have ever played in my life. I would pay $500 for it and quit my job to play 24/7.
Well, I'm gonna quit my job and play it 24/7 too.
And
after
play
I pay
$500
$500
for
for it. Hopefully those exposure bucks pay for it.
Oh man. Oh wow. That's a bad talking point. Yeah. I mean, I've seen talking points that bad though. I'm not even gonna lie. We've seen bad talking points.
Sell my bed, buy a $10 air mattress, live in a cardboard box. I'm ready.
Easy as pie. I don't need to pay rent. It's fine. Everything's fine. Oh my god, I keep going to weird tabs. Okay, not weird. It's just Twitter. It's weird enough.
Twitter is super weird, man.
Yeah, it's true. But yeah, FTC disclosure. Make it very clear if you are streaming and doing a sponsored thing for a stream. Make sure it's in your title, sponsored by whoever. Make sure you disclose verbally, sponsored by whoever, at the beginning and the end of your stream. And you want to say it a few times throughout as well.
Yeah, just keep it very, very clear. You want everybody to know because otherwise it's going to fall into an unethical category. You'll get in a lot of trouble. The company that's sponsoring you is going to get in a lot of trouble. Just don't do that.
It's not like it's got to be annoying or anything. It's, hey, I was paid to do this.
Plus, it seems pretty cool to be like, oh man, I was sponsored by Risk of Rain today. How cool is that, guys?
Yeah. I was sponsored by OPG to be here on this show.
Yeah.
That's actually that's dumb. So there is fine lines in here. I'm not gonna get too deep into it, but there is situations where it's like we have a couple clients who own a company that makes coffee. And
pretty
so
bomb coffee too.
they talk about their coffee all the time. The King's Coast coffee by Rare Drop, by Professor Broman, King of Valiant, Darkness 429, K Magic 101. They're all our clients.
This is actually not an ad, though.
Yeah,
we
this-
have not
this
been
is
paid
not- I've
by
not
King's
been paid
Coast.
by
We have
them.
not received any free product.
But my point is that they talk about their product, obviously, because that's a company that they own. It is a widely known fact that they own this company. They have that displayed in several locations that they own this company. So that every time they talk about it, they do not need to say, this is an ad, this is sponsored, they don't need to say that because it's been made clear that they own the company. So there are a lot of different rules and lines, and you can read all about it, and the FTC, it's a lot. But I do recommend looking into that kind of thing, especially if you're going to be doing the streaming business, because it's very important, and you don't want to get fined big time.
Yeah, they don't mess around.
No, they really don't. They've gotten very serious about it because they realized that it was a rampant problem. So, yeah. And if you see it happen, make tabs of it. It's always a good thing to know. Just like, oh, well, I see this person a lot not saying sponsored, not disclosing their things. Because that may be somebody you don't want to work with in the future.
Yeah. And it's important to remember that, hey, maybe this person isn't telling the truth the whole time. They're being paid to say this. A little scary.
Oof. Anyway,
One dick.
we talked about links. We talked about talking points. Panel images, maybe a sponsor didn't provide that kind of thing. Doesn't mean it's not something that you can make yourself. and I recommend doing that. It's just more places for
Yeah.
people to click a link or something. you
Another
know?
one too is companies love it when you tag them in your posts.
Mm-hmm.
Whether it's at the studio, a lot of times we have custom hashtags for these events
Mm-hmm.
and campaigns that go on. And even if you're not asked to do it, sometimes it's fun to just tag them in there
Yeah.
and get them stoked.
Yeah, and another tip is if you're doing a tweet as part of a campaign, you want to add like a rich media file to it or something like that, like a GIF or an image that you took of the product or that you can find online that you can use. Maybe even a clip from your
Oh,
stream.
yeah.
Those are really fun. We have kind of seen that tweets that go after a sponsored stream, especially for a game, do better. That a tweet before a sponsored stream doesn't necessarily bring any other people to your stream. If anything, it might make some people not come because they're like, oh, sponsored, whatever. So doing a tweet after your stream with a clip from your stream that was fun, that
Yeah.
is excellent. That is
Shows
gonna get a
people
lot
that
of
you're having
engagement.
fun. They hung out for the whole segment. They loved it. They might have forgotten to click on the link because it's crazy world out there. They come back to your tweet. They're like, oh yeah, I wanted to check that out. Bonus
I'm
clicks.
gonna go watch the VOD. Like, that's cool. Yeah. Clips are really fun. I recommend downloading those into your tweets like all the time. Yeah, thank you, Holly. I'm glad you find that useful. And what was the other thing? And even if you're not necessarily being paid to do a tweet for a campaign, if you really like the sponsor and it's not going to spend a lot of your time doing it, you can make a social post about something. I wouldn't make like a constant practice out of this because it might make some sponsors be like, well, we don't have to pay for tweets because
Yeah.
people are just going to do them. But just, if you want more people to engage with a link or something that you've made, that's a great way to do it. Putting it in a social post is never a bad idea. So yeah.
Another one I will say too, especially on that social post, make sure that you double check those companies that are tagged if they ask you in there. Sometimes they may have just a typo, sometimes the account might not actually exist. So you want to bring that up with them, make sure it's there, that way you're all good to go.
We've seen it before. Companies are very busy. Sometimes agencies are very busy juggling a lot of different deals that they're doing, so they may not give you the right thing. Always check any hashtag they send you and any mention they send you.
Also, links, make sure they work.
Yes. If a link doesn't work, immediately, email your sponsor. We've had situations where a link didn't work yet because the site wasn't live, and that's fine, but the link will eventually work. And they just, we give that explanation. It's like, okay, that makes sense. But, never be afraid to email your sponsor with a problem if you see a problem that's going to affect your stream. Because then at the end, if you didn't and you just had all these issues, they're just going to be like, well, why didn't you do the thing right? And it was like, you didn't give me the right information. Yeah, but why didn't you tell me that? There's a lot of things that could happen. So just try to keep it safe across the board by just over communicating even is fine.
We laugh about this, but it happens a lot.
Yes. Haha. Yes.
Well, cool.
All right. Well,
Anything else we should add about campaigns and executing them?
one thing. I want to add
Uno
one
mas.
thing. You may not enjoy the thing that you end up doing. You may have a game that you thought you were going to enjoy, and then you ended up absolutely hating it, and you were sponsored to play 2 hours. Say that you have a situation where you're 20 minutes through this game, and you're like, this is one of the worst experiences I've ever had. I have another hour and 40 minutes to do, and
That's going to be like 10 years.
it's going to be the worst thing ever. Well, maybe it's better if you just end it early, right?
Yeah.
My first piece of advice is to not say we're going to be doing this for the next 2 hours to your audience. Because then if you end up not enjoying that thing and you want to end an hour through it, you'd be like, okay, well, the sponsor stream's over now. And no one's going to know the wiser, right?
Yeah, and it's not good to keep on continuing if you're not having fun because your audience is going to realize that. And if you're obviously not having fun, it's going to look bad on the sponsor and people are going to have a bad image of that game in their mind. Nobody's going to be happy in the end. So it's best just to cut your losses and get it over with.
Yeah,
It's like
and-
pulling a Band-Aid off.
And it's going to suck bringing it up to a sponsor, especially. It's like, hey, I really wasn't a fan of this. It wasn't really what I thought it was going to be. I'm really sorry about this. Maybe we can do a prorated amount and try to get this in your contracts as well, just to be safe. A prorated amount for cancellation or ending early or something like that. Because you did something for them already. You did show the game, you did talk about the product. It just wasn't really what you thought it was going to be, and you don't really enjoy it like you thought you would. But it's very important to remember in this, even if you hate the thing, if you end up hating the thing, you're like, this is the worst game I've ever experienced. Don't say that on stream, please. Don't say that on stream, please. You could say, this isn't really for me, maybe. Like, I could see how other people might like this. Not really the game for me, but we're going to switch to this other thing now. Exactly like Guma said, keep it professional, please. Don't, I've seen it happen. I've seen people do it where they're like, this sucks, I hate it, it's the worst thing ever. These people paid you. They did not pay you to say that.
Yeah.
Well, it's not ethical for you to be like, this is the best thing ever because they told me to say that was the best thing ever. It's also not very ethical for you to be like, they suck, I hate them. Like, what? And you're just burning bridges. You are just burning bridges at that point. Even if the gaming industry is pretty big, but it's also very small, the community.
Very small.
And people move companies all the time. So you may have someone at this company that you really blasted after they paid you to do something.
Yikes.
They move over to this company that you really want to work with, and they're like, oh no.
Double yikes.
They were terrible. I tweeted about this all the time. You're always auditioning. So don't forget that. You're always auditioning. Be professional. Easy as that.
Also, wanted to jump in here, totally off topic, as are most things that I say. But Fearless pointed out that our latest TwitchCon blog is now live on our website. It was posted by Quest Level Awesome. It has since been shuffled up in chat over there. But you can also go to our website, opg.tv, click blog up in the corner. This newest one is awesome. We've been working on it. We've actually been making this whole series. San Diego is our hometown. It's where TwitchCon is this year. It's also where San Diego
is this year, yes.
So we've got a lot of experience. We're stoked to share our love for this city with you, give you places to eat, places to drink, places to hang out, all sorts of cool stuff.
I love that last one you did.
Wow.
Damn. No, San Diego is amazing. I'm not just saying that because I'm born and raised here. It really is amazing. And I'm really happy that San Diego is in San Diego and that TwitchCon is in San Diego this year. And it's going to be a really, really good time if you're coming and you have never been here or you have been here. It doesn't matter either way.
Always fun.
Check out our blog. Please check it out. We have some really great tips in there, places to go.
If you want to make a quick trip, yeah.
Those will be coming out. I think we have at least one more coming out next week too.
Yeah.
So please check those out and just let us know what you think. And we will see you guys around probably at some of these places because
the food one's one of my favorites. I got so hungry reading that thing.
I couldn't. There was pictures and stuff. I was like,
yeah.
I'm too hungry. I can't do it. Yeah.
I definitely ate 2 lunches the day that one came out.
I think everybody did. It was a thing. Yeah. It's see. Okay, Pims. You know what?
Just because you're from LA.
What hurts to me is that you say it's all right, like that might be a joke, but I know that's not a joke. I know that's what you actually think.
Yes, Sericio, there is a drinks blog post. Get on that thing. Wet your whistle. It's fun.
Wet your whistle. There's a lot of really good places to drink in San Diego. We got a lot of the craft beer, but also craft cocktails is a thing that's been coming up in the last few years, and it's really fancy here in San Diego. So. Ooh, a place that I don't think is going to be on any of these because it's really not convenient to get to, but there's a place called Polite Provisions in Normal Heights, North Park area. It's not by the gas lamp. It's probably about 10-minute drive away. Craft cocktails to die for, though, that place.
What was it called? I've never even heard of this.
Polite Provisions.
Polite Provisions, cool.
You would like that place, I think. It's pretty neat. They have these giant punch bowls that will just completely wreck your life.
Oh, that doesn't sound as fun.
It's so good.
Maybe I'll bring some friends. Maybe we'll
you
split
need
one.
5 people. Yeah, it's great. Okay, so now, what about, God, this part right here, the wrap up of the campaign. Oh, we need to end soon.
Oh, that was close.
God. Oh
that was close.
Polite Provisions across the street from my favorite place in the area, Cantina. I don't know if that place. I actually think that place might have closed, Omid.
Cantina
we may need to
Mayagul?
talk about this.
So many mezcals.
I don't know. I think that place might have closed down.
And tacos. Had me at that.
Okay. The wrap up. What do you do after you're done with the campaign? Oh, I'm done.
Yeah.
Good.
I just shut it down and I walk away, right? And then we're good?
Fine. No.
Oh.
No. You actually, you should do a lot as the wrap up. Think of it this way. My brother once told me that the most important part of a golf swing was the follow through. I still think that's BS, but who
I think
knows?
it's the golf club.
Or the person doing the swinging. I don't know, whatever. But the follow through. After you're done, you're up here. You just done? That's it? You just done? No, you're gonna throw your back out. No, I don't. I'm really going off the rocker here. This is weird. Oh my God! What I'm talking about? What I'm talking about is you have a number of reporting kind of things that you want to do to make sure that the sponsor was happy with their campaign, that they want to work with you again, and that you get paid.
Generally, they will be pretty concise and they'll ask you very directly with what they want, which can be very easy to do. But it's also always good to just overperform and give them more things than they expect. Because what's better than ordering one taco?
Getting 5?
Yeah.
For one? Oh my God. As long as it's not taking a lot of extra work on your part to provide these things, you got to think about that, right? Your time and your work and your effort you're putting into it. If it's not going to take a lot of extra work from you, go ahead and do the thing. What we send to sponsors is usually a wrap up of statistics from the stream, screenshots of the tweets or any other social done.
Basically any obligation. If you can have a screenshot of it just so it's documented, it's great to provide it to them. Also, shout out to Druids Fire. Thank you for the subscribe.
65 months. So,
Yo,
you know what? I
that's
think we did
like
go over
almost
5
a
years.
year and a half. 5.5 years.
A year and a half.
We don't do math.
65 divided by 12. Yep, 5.5 years about. I knew we already hit the 5-year mark. I knew it. That's pretty great. Thank you, Druids Fire, for always being so devoted to the cause. You're amazing. What's better than ordering one taco? Ordering all the tacos. But
I
only,
agree.
But only paying for one.
Yeah.
Or none. I'm cool with paying for none at the same time. I'm not going to steal tacos.
Yo, is there any taco bars going down at TwitchCon?
I'm sure. I am sure
Cool.
there will be tacos at every party. Because everybody's being like, we're in San Diego, tacos, huh?
I'm okay with this.
Yeah, me too. I had a taco bar at my wedding, so really I can't say anything. But analytics from the stream are very important. You want to get those numbers over because that's really going to be the clincher for most sponsors. Those are your things that like this proves that I did the thing and that it met the metrics that you wanted it to meet or didn't, and we can talk about that kind of thing like that. So.
Yeah, for example, when we send over our end of campaign reports, we've got a little bit more of an advanced software built here in-house, but for our streams, we'll provide the total length of the stream, the total viewer minutes that were for that whole thing, the average amount of concurrent viewers, the peak viewers, the retention, which is how many people actually were there at the beginning of the stream and stayed all the way through to the end. All sorts of fun stuff.
Yeah. There's a lot of detail that's
just to kind of give you an idea of some things that you could possibly look for.
And a lot of that detail will be and can be provided on free like stat reporting sites. Oh my God, I like never use them, so I don't remember what they're all called. But they're
just Google Twitch Analytics and
there's
a couple will pop up.
Things like Social Blade is a good one, where you can kind of see stats on different streams that have been done. There are a few out there, and there are a few that are propping up even more that are like they're trying to get newer streamers into their fold to kind of give them statistics. Sully Gnome is a really good one. A lot of people use that one. And then so you can kind of prove that you did all the obligations. You send that in a nice report. Maybe you use Dropbox to get them a nice little like folder. It's very professional looking. Maybe some images of your stats from Twitter. Whatever you want to do.
Yeah. You can also go on Twitter and you can go into your analytics in there and you can see some serious breakdowns on the insights. It includes impressions, total clicks, total likes. It's pretty wild what actually Twitter can do there.
It's so cool. Like I recently started doing that for myself and I was like, this is like the best thing ever. Like I'm gonna be a Twitter star. Wow.
Yeah, Miss 1K. Whoa.
I did get to 1K, but that is totally not on me. That was with a lot of help from Bike Man. Okay, Bike Man is a god. Okay, he's amazing. And then you want to get paid, right? You send them all the stats, but maybe that's it. No. Well, a lot of companies need invoices in order to pay. They actually need that within their system. They need an invoice from you. There are a lot of like template invoices that you can find online. You're probably not an accountant, so you maybe don't know what goes into that. Find something like that. See what they need you to send. Maybe they don't need anything. just check with your sponsor, over communicate. Again,
Yeah.
just be like, hey, what do you need so I can get my payment?
And also in the contract, a lot of times it'll specify exactly how to do that.
Yep.
Now, I finished my sponsor 30 minutes ago. It was great, killed it, had peak viewers. It was awesome. When am I gonna get paid? Now, that's a crazy one because inside these contracts, you'll find these different terms. One of the most common ones is net 30 or net 60. Now, what that means is, for example, net 30 means the sponsor has 30 days to actually pay you for your services. Net 60 means they have 60 days. Those are the two most common. Occasionally, you'll see things like net 15, net 45, net 90.
I've seen 90.
Yeah, I've
That's
seen 90.
A lot.
Generally, you want to try and get it shorter. Sometimes companies just don't budge on that. So
Sometimes people are like net 14, which is like, whoa,
Fantastic.
That's 2 weeks. That's fantastic. And usually that'll be the date after invoicing, not the date that you've completed. So be very diligent that you get them what they need so you can get your payment on time.
Yeah.
Because if you wait 3 weeks to even get them an invoice, then you got to wait 30 more days on top of that, and sometimes more because a lot of people pay late. A lot of people pay late.
unfortunately, it's just a truth. It happens.
Would most places take PayPal invoices? Maybe. They might. If you want to get paid to your PayPal, then that's a great way to do it. You just have to check with the sponsor first and make sure they're good with that they can do that internally. I recommend getting paid to a bank account if you can, just because it's a little bit more secure. A lot of the times, PayPal, if it's over a certain amount, they will hold money for no particular reason, and they can hold it for months at a
They can
time.
also take service fees on top of that.
That's not fun. You don't want to take the service fees. So just consider all that kind of stuff when you're getting into that. It's a very layman's term invoice system, but I feel like there's templates online that are just as well. But yeah, there's a lot of different kind of ways that you can do that, and you just have to check with the sponsor to see what they need from you to do that as well. Invoices do not have to be complicated. It really doesn't. Like some look really complicated, but that's just because they have bars and stuff.
Yeah.
Really, it's just a thing that's like,
It's like your name.
I completed this person completed these services to this person or company in exchange for payment of this. I don't know.
On this date, yeah. It's
It's
all
like
very
that.
simple stuff. Gooms has got it right there. Date, service render description, amount, who you are, who they are, etc.
Yep, you can type it all in a Word doc. It's very simple. And then once that's all wrapped up and you've gotten the payment and everything from them, it's never a bad idea to then come back and just be like, hey, thank you guys so much for
Yeah.
working with me. If you enjoyed working with them, you can be like, I had a really great time working with you. I would love to talk about potential opportunities in the future. Sometimes you will get people that will turn right around and just be like ready to go on the next one. They're ready to talk for it. Maybe it's not going to be for a few months down the road, but they're ready to go.
Sometimes it's fun too to give them a little feedback, especially if it's a game that's on
Yes.
beta or it's an indie game. Like any problems you may have encountered, features that you would like to see, things that you absolutely loved. Companies love hearing that stuff. Any sort of constructive feedback that can help them grow their game, A+.
Yeah, they like to hear it. And if you were working with an agency, they will pretty much always send that feedback to a sponsor, whoever they're working with. And some sponsors will specifically ask for feedback, but it never hurts to just give them to that. Give them to that? What? Give
Dude,
that to
what's
them
up with
whenever.
our words today, man?
It's the end of the stream, and I'm getting really like fuzzy. I think.
Oh.
It's Friday. I want to go home and play Borderlands 3.
Ah, that's what it is.
That's the second time I've done that on stream today. I gotta stop with the mouth thing. Oh my god. But no, send them a little wrap up of just what you enjoyed, what you think could have been better next time. Maybe if the sponsor was a little hard to communicate with, you can say that in a nice way. And be like, hey, I really like communication. It helps me do my job better. So if there's ways that we can do that in the future better, then let me know, kind of thing like that. And then you're ready. You're done. After you've gotten that payment, you're good to go.
High five, you completed your first sponsored segment. How cool is that?
Something to keep in mind, if you rendered the things done and you did everything according to your contract and then you don't get paid, what do you do?
Oh, that's
do you
when we
do?
send people knocking.
It's what we do, right? We actually have a way, and this is a little bit of a plug, sorry, but if you go onto the OPG website, opg.tv, then we actually have a service to all streamers, anybody who has done a sponsored deal and not gotten paid. You can actually go in and give us some information about what's going on, and our accountant will actually help try to get you paid.
I believe it's on the contact page of our website.
There's like a separate contact form for it. Yeah, it's So if you go to opg.tv, I'm trying to load it up, and you go to payment recovery.
Aha.
Payment recovery, and there is some information that you have to fill out there. It's obviously your name, your email address, so we can contact you. How much the payment is, like it's like a drop-down menu with a range that you're trying to collect on, and how overdue it is. And then there's also some it's like, will you be able to provide this information? We need a contract, proof that the services were rendered, that you finished all the obligations, proof that you have invoiced for it or asked for payment, any additional details that we need to ask for. But that is something that we offer to everybody, not just our clients, because we want everybody to get paid for the services that they rendered. It's not fair if you don't. So if you have any problems with that, you can always go to our website and we can try to help you with that as well.
Yeah.
Little plug, just a little one. OPG is the best. I agree.
Thanks, Holly. You're the best.
I heard OPG sends bounty hunters. Yes.
I can neither confirm nor deny these allegations.
Oh, shit.
Can I say that? Was I supposed to? Uh-oh. Guys, I might have to
I
leave.
think I messed up. We gotta go. This is a donut. I don't know why he posted a donut, but okay. Off Hours Ninja is my job. Yeah.
I would actually believe that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I really think Donut could be a bounty hunter, guys. Like, I'm not even kidding. Monkess. They're not bounty hunters per se. They're more like hired goons. Wow.
Makes it sound very
Now I know how you
mafia.
really feel about me, Omid. Hired goon. I'm just kidding. Hooligans. There we go. We're going back around. There we go. All right. This is kind of the Q&A. I was going to say FAQ, but I knew that wasn't right.
Nah, not frequently asked questions. Any questions
Any
that
questions
you
at
have
all.
that you have either thought of during the stream, general questions about anything that you need while you're getting started streaming, pretty much anything, throw them in chat right there. Let's see if you can stump me and Audrey.
Less IG88 and more like a random person hired in Mos Eisley. Exactly. Yeah. No, not so Greedo. More just like dude sitting at the bar sipping some blue milk probably. I don't know. Star Wars. Let's talk about Star Wars.
Oh, we're going to go down that rabbit hole?
I could. We shouldn't, though. We don't have a lot
The
of
Star
time.
Wars episode coming in December.
Oh my god, could we do that? Guys, could we just have an episode where we just talk about Star Wars? Where's my mic?
I'd be
Please?
super down.
Mandalorians, okay, yes. Star Wars is a sandwich.
Yeah,
yes.
absolutely. There's the prequels, whatever the new ones are called, and then there's the original. You got the bun, the meat, and then the extra bun.
But it's actually sandwiches inside sandwiches.
Whoa!
Because each one of them is a trilogy. So there's the original, 4, 5, 6 sandwich. And then there's 1, 2, 3 sandwich. And then there's 7, 8, 9 sandwich. And then they all come into one big sandwich. It's like a club sandwich. Yeah.
Triple
Producer AJ likes that.
decker.
Triple decker sandwich over here. Okay. And the top part of the sandwich, that 1, 2, 3, is really bad. I would recommend just taking that one off and eating the rest of it.
Hey, it had some okay parts.
I mean, you're not wrong. It had okay parts. I wouldn't say it was the worst stuff ever. And it was not Ewan McGregor's fault. Don't blame him. He's just a baby boy. Okay, be nice to Ewan. I like him. I like Ewan McGregor a lot. Anyway, if there are no questions other than Star Wars questions, DM me on Twitter if it's a Star Wars question. We'll talk. Anyway, thank you, everyone. Sand.
I love sand.
It's a sandwich. Get it? Wink. Anyway. Thank you, everybody, so much for tuning in today. It was wonderful spending time with you. It was really great to talk about the anatomy of sponsorship.
Yeah, I had a great time. Audrey was a great co-host. This was amazing.
We've never done one of these together,
No,
guys.
this was our first time.
It was
sick.
awesome. It was great because it wasn't just Jamar asking me a bunch of questions. We actually had a discussion.
Yeah, we did
Thanks, Jamar.
acting. We
We role played. I don't really know what happened.
It's been a wild 2 hours, guys. Anyway, we'll see you next week on Friday. I don't know what the topic is off the top of my head, so that's going to be a surprise.
I think we might be talking about TwitchCon next week.
Oh, that's happening?
I'm not guaranteeing that, but the week after that is TwitchCon. So, and I don't believe we're having a show that week. So on the 20th, I believe we are talking about TwitchCon, and Omid will be here to talk about TwitchCon. Woo!
Oh, yeah.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you guys so much.
It's coming. Okay, thank you guys,
All
everybody.
right. Adios.
Bye-bye.